Can't get enough of Wordle or concerned about where you'll get your daily Wordle fix? If the New York Times ever puts Wordle behind the paywall, stick around while we share some little turtle tips along with some hints to help you win at each one of them. As you probably know if you are watching this, Wordle is the game that gives you 6 chances to guess the daily Wordle word. It was recently purchased by the New York Times, and some fear it will at some point be no longer free. All of a sudden, everyone is looking for Wordle words, 5-letter words for Wordle, and 5-letter words Wordle. Here are 3 gaming alternatives based on Wordle, although to be fair, the last one is only for the real diehards. But with that, let's dive right in and let's start talking about Wordle and the Wordle alternatives. So, of course, the obvious answer is if the Times puts Wordle behind the paywall, the obvious solution is pay for it. And once I came up with that solution, I breathed a kind of a sigh of release, but of course it will depend upon what they charge for it. But having said that, let's move on and let's talk about the first Wordle alternative. And this is called Dordle, okay? In other words, duo. You probably got that. It gives you 7 chances to guess 2 Wordle words, and it was created by Guillerme S. Taus. I hope I said the name right. And it's based on Wordle by Josh Wardle. And again, another thanks to Josh Wardle for developing this and sharing it with the world for free. There's a new game every day, and they give you information that you can copy, similar to Wordle, but there's no track record to share. At least at this point, there's no track record to share. Although you can see it on the screen. The hands show up side by side, which is nice because you're not flipping all over the place. So there are no view issues as there are with some of the other games. Now, hint here, and I learned this one the hard way, you don't have to play the hands in order, but you really do need to concentrate because it's easy to get the 2 hands mixed up. So don't have to play them in order. You can go back and forth depending upon which game you're having better luck with, if you will. Okay, so that's choice number 1. Choice number 2 is Quordle. This gives you 8 chances to guess 4 words. Quordle was developed by a group of Wordle fans, according to the Standard UK, which goes on to say that an early prototype of the 4-word game came from engineer David Ma, who was described as a moment of evil and genius, according to Quordle creator Freddie Myers. And this again, it's Fire HP at Fire HP is the handle that they use. It has practice rounds, which means you can actually play more than 1 round in a day. It has a share feature, but that share feature seems to require an additional app. But if you hit the download button, you can get a picture which you can copy and share on social media. That picture tends to be large, though, and a little bit unwieldy, but it's still there. I played this game on more than 1 occasion. I played it several times, and in my humble opinion, their answers sometimes include obscure words. So, like one of the times when I didn't win it, and there's been more than one time when I didn't win it. For example, it had slyly. Now, in the past, when I played it, it did not fit on my screen. And I'm talking about my desktop, which has a pretty large screen. And so I was constantly sliding the little bar that was next to it up and down to get it so I could see, all 4 hands. But this seems to have been fixed, which was good because it was quite annoying. I got around that particular issue, by the way, just FYI, by playing it on my tablet. And when I played it on my tablet, I held the tablet up and down in portrait version instead of landscape version. And that way I was able to see all 4 hands. But the way they have it set up now, you can see all 4 hands, and it's very easy to use. Hint, another thing I learned the hard way, don't waste too many rounds trying to figure out the answer if you have 4 letters and there are several choices. I did this one time, and I ended up with, I guessed the first 2 words, and then I ran out of choices in round 3, never got to round 4. You'll pay for it in round 4, okay? So that's the hint, and you can play all 4 at once going around. And as I said, the way they have the screen set up now, it's pretty easy to use. Next option is Octordle, and yeah, this is kind of evil genius. You have 13 chances to guess 8 words, and I don't know if you're watching it on YouTube, you're probably looking at the screen. You can see I have the screen up there, and a Quordle screen, and you have to move that cursor up and down, that light gray cursor. That makes it a little bit difficult, but I don't know. They'd have to make it so small to get all 8 games on the screen. It probably isn't possible or feasible. It's possible, just not a feasible alternative. Okay, this was created by Kenneth Crawford, and it was based on Quordle, which, as you know, was based on Dordle, which I just told you about, and of course that was based on Wordle, which was developed by Josh Wardle. Okay, and this game has images and share features, but again, these seem to require an additional app. As I said, there's this huge picture with all 8 boxes, and an advertisement for Octordle. Personally, I'm going to be honest, I find going back and forth between 8 games difficult and confusing, especially since I can't get them all on one screen. Now, this could be a little sour grapes on my part, because I'm going to be honest, I've never managed to win. All 3 versions, I believe all 3, have an opportunity for you to make a donation. Some of them have a Patreon box, so you can leave like a tip. So this is where hopefully the funding for this will come, and hopefully they'll remain free. And my big hint on this is don't play when tired. In fact, don't play when you're not blasting on all 4 cylinders, because, as I said, I've not been able to win yet. If you have played it and you have won, feel free to brag in the comment box. Now, what do I see as the prognosis for all these games? For whatever reason, and I have no explanation, Quordle seems to be gaining the most traction, at least for now, although obviously it is nowhere nearly as popular as Wordle. We've got a whole playlist of Wordle videos, and we'll link to that in the show notes below. And on YouTube, a link should appear to the left. We have new Wordle videos every Saturday. And as always, we appreciate those thumbs up, those subscribes, your comments, and your shares. Good luck and happy Wordling.